Hello guys, I want to challenge you in this one in your way of relating towards contrasts, and I will lay out two different scenarios, starting with one which will be about existing within something which seemingly seems very flat and unmoving, but actually has the capability to open things up for us because it demands a deeper sense of being present within a certain situation, like really embodily feeling it and being perceptive of subtleness. So if that would be a moving practice, it would mean that you do really small subtle motions, maybe in some isolated areas, or you simply move your presence throughout your body very delicately, and you are perceptive of the sensations that are coming for you. And it can be a practice in stillness, it can be purely just like sitting, laying down, and then seeing all that is woken up through this sense of being within a void. One thing I struggle with, because I think I draw so much inspiration from motion. I listen to music a lot, and I usually have my headphones on, and then it's like constant chatter and constant like bombardment of different stories and different charges and all of the different contexts like changing so quickly that I don't think it's healthy. And then once I was like, okay, detox time, and I didn't take my headphones with me and spend some time without them, suddenly there is so much my own motion within me that I'm receptive to, and that I can actually, I think, also create from, and that calls me into being creative and to share that. So that I think would be a nice one practice, like one position, one texture to lean into. And then the other is actually playing with contrasts, maybe more like mentally, intellectually than physically, but again, it can also be a moving practice where you start with very minimum motions and then you maximize those. You go really eccentric, you go very dramatic. Then you start with a very slow motions and then you speed them up. You go very like fierce motion and strong character, all that putting across. You do that for motion. But I think it's interesting to maybe more focus on the textures you're comfortable with, also like psychically, like what, for instance, level of assertivity are you comfortable with? What level of like being tender with yourself, but also very feeling this very firm energy, agitated towards protecting that which is dear to you and feels deeply meaningful and important to stand up for. Because I think that's where really the alchemy is within so often, where it's the mixture, it's the, you have deep empathy and compassion, but you are also not avoidant of frontal confrontation. You're not avoidant of conflict. You're not avoidant of very like directly wording what's meaningful to you, or what values are you willing to defend. and usually I would touch on very abstract concepts. Here I feel it's not about like tiny material stuff, right? But I think there are many atrophies, like societally speaking, because of how we've boxed the role models for us, like how I think also so often the narratives we are given are ones that are not holistically integrative of the whole emotional spectrums we move through. And it's, for me personally, I believe that openness has such a strong primacy over words like productivity and efficiency, and something which essentially like places one psychic function texture above the others, because it tells you, no, you can't really feel your sadness, you can't really feel your grief or your anger, because none of that is optimal for your level of like how much you're gonna produce, right? Like how much you're gonna bring to the table. And that I feel is also with like how externally focused we are, where we evaluate so often based on really the physicality of how much things that we make would cost, how much would we sell them for, how attractive do we look, how just like beyond this whole I don't know, it's I always see a tip of an iceberg when I speak this, when I share this. Like I always see that there are emotions that are not expressed within this physical reality, in a sense, that there are meaningful things, there are shifts necessary for us to do societally to become more inclusive, to create more equal societies, more rooted within a natural rhythms, all of that. It's you do them for the internal emotions, not for the external reflections of those. And I'm lost for words, you know, like so often when I share. And I think it's because I haven't eaten and it's not good for me.